So essentially the situation here is Gannon mentioned that he was going to get to town a day before the tournament started. He needs to get a practice round in, but he also agreed to come play catch with me, and I can't let him get away without doing that. So fingers crossed he gets here soon, and hopefully he gets his round in before sunset, because that's what happens when you get to town so late. So, so we'll see how it goes, but I'm excited. It's a beautiful day out here. Gannon, I have a gift for you. I got you a churro.
Is this from Costco or?
It's from Costco.
Okay. Are we eating it as fast as possible?
I don't think you have to, but the word on the street was that you like churros.
I'm the biggest churro eater in disc golf, probably.
Cheers. It's good.
It's good churro.
You want to play catch?
Yeah.
Let's go play catch.
I can't tell you how happy I am. I love churros so much.
Come on, dog. Talk to me about churros. There's good and bad distance drivers. There's also good and bad churros.
But yes.
What if you're a churro manufacturer, what's the bread and butter? What's the goal?
Well, it depends on kind of where you're at. If you're at a restaurant and you serve churros, it has to have filling.
Like a custard cream?
Yeah, just like a cream filling. And the ideal is just like chocolate sauce and then a lot of whipped cream, so you can, just go a little here, bite with the whipped cream. And then softer and a lot of cinnamon sugar, which is pretty much what these are. So I'd probably be making churros if I didn't play disc golf.
You'd be a side-of-the-road churro salesman? I hope we can make a graphic.
What else do I do with my life?
Can we do this? Is there an AI art bot that can do a Gannon Buhr churro salesman that we can slap on the screen? Dude, I love churros too. This is amazing.
Churros are the best.
Would you bag this thing?
I do.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Do you bag it for the meme of bagging it?
Yeah.
Like, when would you ever use it?
Like low ceiling putts. Like I almost used it last week because I had a super low ceiling. Or like an air bounce that's the only shot.
Oh, wow.
That wasn't that good, but.
I got one. Nope. Nice catch. This thing is actually great.
Yeah. Yummy churros.
Ah! Do you have a Costco card?
No.
It'll change your life.
Well, my favorite place to get churros is like 30 minutes from my house, and I can't drive, so my mom doesn't take me ever.
What do you mean you can't drive?
No license.
You still don't have one?
No. And I'm not gonna waste the cinnamon sugar either.
What does that mean?
All right, we're good now.
It's like if you got French toast and it was covered in powdered sugar, it feels like you'd lick the plate.
If it's a funnel cake, I'll ask for extra powdered sugar.
You will? Actually, talk to me about the Iowa State Fair. How many times have you been? Do you enjoy it?
Maybe 3 times. I think I'm in an age where it's the least amount of fun.
Really?
Because like as a kid, there's like rides and stuff. And then like my age, there's like nothing to do. But when I get old, I'll just be like, I don't know, go look at some horses or something.
That's all you do at the Iowa State Fair?
Yep.
But what about the fair food?
Well, we have mini donuts, or you get a huge tub of cookies. It's like 50 brand new baked cookies. Obviously corn dogs, that's nothing too special.
I had recently, last year at the Iowa State Fair, I had one of those pickle dogs. It's like a hot dog with a giant pickle wrapped around it and then battered and fried. Not bad.
That's crazy.
It was a little strange. So like, other than like an air bounce under a bush, what would you use that for?
Like, we're probably like a tailwind jump putt where I just want to have little effort. Easy 180 feet.
That was a standing putt? Holy crap. Do you think you have the farthest standing putt right now in disc golf?
Maybe. I don't know who else would. I probably am the person who uses a long jump putt the most.
Like as an approach?
Yeah, because I hate throwing up shots.
I know.
Like this is, if you were a basket, I wouldn't land within 30 feet.
Yeah, you don't like throwing that?
I'm fine in practice because there's no pressure.
So Prodigy does not have any catch discs currently.
This is our best bet.
This is what they have. They were just disc golf only. Are they thinking about making catch discs?
I don't know, this is almost better because like, obviously like, we have like the glitch that came out, it's like 150, but this is 120, so it's like way lighter. And it's definitely more overstable than like any other, I feel like, Frisbee that other companies made that are PDJ approved. I wouldn't be mad if they don't make an actual one because this is good enough for sure.
Yeah.
I actually prefer this over a Frisbee, especially with this being so like torque resistant. Like it'll handle a wobbly forehand. Brian's oldies has no hops anymore. Oh,
that should come back all the way, right?
That's amazing.
Wow. That's nice. Are you trying to get that to me? That's not even close.
I thought there was more headwind.
Were you the only kid in your school that played any sort of like Frisbee, disc golf, anything?
Yes.
Did you ever get called names because of that?
It's a girl sport. And then, you know, like, just like the usual, like, middle school, like, kid getting bullied for something just stupid that's not dumb. Like, I'd say I was, like, middle of the road popular before I played disc golf. And then, like, once I started playing, I went down to, like, I went down.
Really?
It's because everyone kind of started to play, like, baseball, basketball, and then, you know, you're always trying to be the best at that in your school, and then, you know, once I kind of was getting out of basketball and baseball, I just did my own thing pretty much.
It's so weird, like I was the same way. Like I was the only person that played any sort of Frisbee in my school, and I remember, I mean, I didn't get like made fun of, but I remember, first off, not being able to talk about it with anybody, which is so frustrating because I just wanted everyone to know what it was. But I remember playing intramural basketball, and some dude like tried to cross me up, and he was like, "Take this, Frisbee boy," and I almost laughed out loud. And of course he gets by me because I was like, "What was that?"
I've definitely been called stuff like that.
That sounds like a Karate Kid insult. Like, yeah, put him in a body bag.
It sounds like that kid is like trying to be cool in a movie, that like ends up being cool in the movie for saying that, but it's just like the cringiest thing ever in real life. Before I threw grenades with a forehand grip.
Really?
Because it's just a flick of the wrist up.
I've never tried that.
Yeah, like you just flick your wrist up.
Wow, that's like a really nice shot.
Well, it's like if people have trouble with it or it like hurts throwing grenades, like that can work too.
Okay, you put a little height on it.
Oh.
No, I like totally get it. Instead of holding it like this, it's literally the same thing.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like a short grenade. Like you really need to go over something, you just like.
Oh my God. That's like really smart. Why don't you do that anymore?
I haven't had any opportunities. I just make a backhand or something else work. I trust like a Spikeiser more than I do a grenade in like weird wind.
Why?
What? Just because the grenade is, I guess I actually can't throw Spikeisers that well because I have a hard time like releasing on hyzer. It always just comes up flat and nose up. So my Spikeisers are just with the most overstable disc ever, flat, and then it turns vertical on itself.
Yeah, you throw stalls, right? Like really high stalls?
And like if it's overstable enough, it'll act like a spike hyzer.
Do you think Kevin is the best thrower of the grenade on tour, or is he just the one that throws it the most?
You're gonna have to watch the skins match at Blue Ribbon Pines. He got out grenaded like 3 times in a row by me.
By you?
Just like CTP grenades.
All right, I got something that's been on my mind. There has been a rumor, and there's no like confirm or deny, you don't have to say anything, that you were offered a big contract at the beginning of the year. And regardless of if it's true or not, what would you do? What would you even do at this point in your life if you were given like $1 million?
Like the one thing I've been spending money on my whole life is Legos. That's pretty much it. Like because I don't have a car, so I'm not paying for gas. All I spend money on is like, I don't know, food and lodging. That's it.
Do you make Legos on tour?
Yeah, we went to Mall of America. I spent like $400.
Yes.
I just got done building the globe. So it's this like foot big globe. It's huge, a couple thousand pieces that it can spin like an actual globe. It has all of the different continents and labels of like different oceans and stuff. And that one took me 5 hours probably.
That's insane. And where do you put them when you're done?
With my trophies.
You just ship them back home?
Well, I usually like won't build them until I'm home, but like if I'm on the road in a car, then I can build them and just keep them safe. But if I'm flying somewhere, then I'll just wait till I go to home. But like I have my like my USDGC trophy and stuff, and I just have like the globe right next to it.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
That's awesome. When you came into the game and you watched tons of content, like if you had to pick apart their play styles, what do you feel like they lacked?
All players lack something, for sure. We don't have a perfect player right now. In terms of like, players sometimes lack decision making, like different shot shapes with a certain shot. Your head's gone. Ooh. Like for me right now, it's like hyzer flip forehands, which was my strong suit until I started throwing, and also hyzer, anything hyzer flip is my weakness.
Yeah, it sounds like anything with spine tilt.
Yeah, if I can throw a ripped over and hyzer, I'm fine, or dead flat, I'm fine.
Yeah.
But when I have to throw in hyzer, I have a hard time hitting lines. But then I think flex is overall better because it's always getting to the ground, especially on tour. Now there's a ton of OB. I think back then hyzer flips could work really good, but now there's OB everywhere. You want to be able to get that that 450 and then land in bounds. So I'm just throwing super overstable driver 450 out on that just flat nose up angle, not even hyzer, where other players are going like hyzer flip and it's like gliding across the fairway, and it's not wanting to get to the ground.
Yeah.
So it's bad for distance control and landing in a certain area.
That's true. You know what's interesting? I know that when you were younger, you yes, that's pretty good. I think I got a righty sidearm.
Yeah.
Come on, baby. I know when you were younger, you did a lot of watching of Shoestrick, but I don't think he played that style, right?
No, he didn't.
So what was your analysis of how he played the game when he was at his peak?
So I modeled him, so I was all hyzer flip back then.
Okay.
Like if I had a dead straight shot, wide open, I'd take like my flippiest mid-range on that and get it to flip up the whole way. And I didn't think twice about it. I feel like the issue is now I'm worrying about messing it up. Back then it was so natural to me, I didn't have to worry about it.
Do you ever feel like you'll come full circle and one day you'll come back to that style as your default?
I was kind of going back to it like the beginning of this year, and then 3 of my first 4 tournaments were terrible.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I was trying to get a little more distance with a little flip, and when I executed it good, it made sense, but then I had times where I'd go OB twice around, where if I just went stable, I wouldn't go OB.
Yeah.
And when you give up 6 strokes in a tournament just off stupid OBs, that's that's the difference between 7th and 35th.
I want to throw just a couple more with you. One of the things that I've been thinking about since you told it to me was when you told me that, like, in Des Moines, you were like grinding your backhand timing and you were filming yourself. I want to see, and if you want to like throw from your bag,
Yeah.
will you show me what you were working on?
Yeah.
Is that something that would jinx you? Do you feel like you get jinxed at all?
No, that's not a thing for me.
I only say that because some disc golfers are so superstitious that you can't say certain things to them.
I mean, it's not a jinx. It's like, yes, it can get in your head. That's for sure a thing. But like a jinx, like you're not just gonna mess something up just because something's said. If you tell yourself that, then maybe. But like, I guess that's how I look at it.
You've probably learned that lesson already, huh?
Yeah, don't let the stupid stuff affect you.
So
basically.
yeah, like when you're you're in the basement and you're like, oh, my timing sucks. Like everyone seems to do it differently, but some people don't even know how to self-diagnose it.
That's because all they did is just grow up throwing. They didn't actually know how to throw. Like for me, I've always I probably consistently once or twice a day screen record someone on YouTube, a random player. Like I just recorded Axel Olsen, who just won the AM Worlds. I think he's like 15 or something, but his form's like amazing.
Is it?
I was like, okay, cool. I want to see how he does this because he does something a lot better than I do with the slight hyzer out of the hand with the driver, late flip, hold, and get the fade while keeping it nose down.
So then So then in your basement, feel free to throw whatever you want.
So I was messing up is a couple things. I was overturning, like I'd hold it back a little too much, overturn round a little bit, and then when I'd pull through, it'd be like a lag here. So I'd kind of like close my shoulder off just a little bit like this, and then I'd go quick here. So instead of like here, and it's all in like one fluid motion, it'd be like here, snap. It was like too snappy, and then it was also I was doing this. I was pulling through like that, and then when I'd try to hit my ankles, I'd just mess it up. So I tried to go from like what I was doing is probably this. Like you can throw really far that way, but you're not gonna hit your angles ever. And then I switched to I went out to a field with 5 P Model USs, which is just like straight putter, and then 5 A2s, super overstable. Well, not to a field, I went to my home course. It's like a minute from my house. It's wide open, 300-foot holes, and I literally just threw on the same exact line, and I played every single tee pad with the 10 discs on the same exact hyzer, like the flat to hyzer style I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Like this is what it looked like, and I'd have multiple in the air at the same time, so it was just like.
I see what you're doing. And you're just trying to feel that release point.
Yeah.
Like with ease, like you're not trying to force the angle.
No.
Yeah.
I can't throw on hyzer more than 450 probably.
Yeah.
But if I go flat, I can get 550.
Of course. It feels like your brace is worked around that like angle of release. So like, because again, like there's certain winds where if you can go power hyzer out of the hand, you get that extra carry.
Yeah, I definitely do that. If I have like a big right to left, I'll try to get more on that angle. But like, yeah, if I'm just going for like an accurate shot, I'll take something super overstable. Like if I'm trying to hit that orange flag out there, there's not actually a great aiming point right now because there's just clouds.
Yeah.
Usually I try to pick a tree, but I'm just gonna carry it over this right side flag line and then just have it spike in once it gets its distance.
Yeah. Little inside?
Barely. I mean, not too bad.
It's pretty good.
It's like a 20-footer, 25-footer. Where like some people are like, this is a terrible example, but like a shot like this, I see some people doing. Like they're just like, they have a straight shot and then they just like, they're trying to get to play the flip. Well, that was way too good. So that's a terrible example.
You threw that like what, 60%?
Like 40, maybe 30.
What disc was that you just threw?
H7.
Okay. So you're saying you think players, even on the tour that are really good.
I think that's a bad shot.
Yeah, you're saying players on tour, even though it's a beautiful line to watch, it's not a good golf line if you're trying to score.
Yeah, because like, and even if it's most comfortable to them, I still think a bad flat stall hyzer thrower will still get a better percentage than if you were more comfortable with that like late flipping, just because like it's a more consistent shot. Like the angle control out of the hand is the reason like people have off tournaments. I don't think it's like missing your line isn't that big of a deal if your angle's fine. On these two,
okay,
I'm gonna throw them on the same angle, and I'm just gonna miss my line on one of them. I'm gonna aim for the flag.
okay.
So like the first one, I'll try to actually throw it good. I'll just throw it flat, like how I would from this distance.
Yeah, that's like the classic. That's the classic hyzer line that you like to throw.
Yeah, just like it wasn't really a hyzer, it was just flat.
You're stabilizing it with nose angle.
I mean, yeah, it's like, I guess it felt like parked pretty much.
Yeah.
So I'll do the same thing. I'll hit my angle and everything, but I'm just gonna miss my line. I'll just pull it a little bit right. Like I was compensating for that, but I pulled it right, but I still hit my angle based on what the disc is supposed to do. And like, I don't know, what we'll call like 30 feet. Now, if you hit your line, let's say that's the stall line, but you miss your angle, it is super exaggerated than if you miss your line. So hitting your angle is way more important than hitting your line, especially in the open. Because if you hit your angle in the open and it's an overstable disc, but you miss your line by 30 feet, you're just gonna end up 30 feet away. If you miss your angle in the open, like let's say I wanna go flat and I turn this over too much, you're gonna ride like
way offline.
Way offline.
Yeah.
And that's why I feel like throwing straight discs is not a good idea when it's wide open. And I do the same thing with my forehands. I don't like to, forehand's a little more difficult. So I much rather would take an accurate forehand than a far forehand.
Yeah, of course.
I do the same line.
Yeah, I've noticed you are like one of the more chop angle like forehand throwers that have like a pretty solid forehand. One of the first shots that I was ever blown away by with you was when we played that little COVID tournament. You threw a PA3, like standstill flick, like 250, like 300.
So that's all I used to do. I'm not actually as good as I now as I was then. But yeah, I used to only like just throw forehand, like straight putter up shots. I wouldn't even go overstable. Like I would just take my straight putter, even flippy. I used to just throw a PA4 for my forehand up shots. And I would just pick a little spot in the sky on Annie, hit it and let it like kind of burn to the ground. Now I take an A2 just to make sure it finishes overstable. It's something I would kind of wish I had back just because my backhand up shots felt so uncomfortable. I wanted to always be looking at the basket.
Yeah, like how do you even get that shot back, like while you're on tour?
Yeah, it's hard to get back.
I think you are like right alongside Ricky. It was so funny for like all those years, like Paul and Ricky had two opposite play styles and they were like beating each other week in and week out.
Yeah.
Like Paul loved throwing power hyzer. Paul loved throwing hyzer flip. He loves dancing with the nose angle. And Ricky just tries to throw as little glide as he possibly can.
That's like the one thing I don't have is like control with a flippy fairway. That's one of my favorite feeling discs is a flippy wing with a high parting line. So like an Undertaker, I feel like is a good example of that. An FD from Discmania is a good example. Even like a Leopard. Like a lot of the fairway drivers have just a really good parting line that matches the shape of the dome good.
That is a really unique thing that you're talking about. Not many players are talking about that.
This is why this M4 is amazing, because the way like it curves up with the dome is perfect. Where like I hate flat flippy mid ranges because they don't, unless it's super flippy, I don't want to throw it, because if you throw like flat discs in general over a speed of a putter or like a mid, when you get to the fairways, it really exaggerates it. But you need a little bit of dome to hold lines a little bit better. Like I feel like flat discs, sometimes you throw them hard, flat, they'll flip real quick, and then once they lose speed, they just dump.
Yeah, it's hard to keep the lines consistent. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Slight dome, it plays as a tighter line, so it's getting a slower turn, and if you mess up the angle, it's not gonna fade way out. It'll just get that little fade instead of that crazy. Like I've seen Paul tone down fairway drivers, and I'm like, I wish I had that shot.
What I've seen is he shortens up like their putters. He'll like pretend like it's a putter in his hand, and he'll throw it like a
But there's also
like
times where I feel like I've played with Paul, and I think he's made a very incorrect disc choice.
Yeah.
Like a good one's like hole 16 at USDGC. He was going Undertaker when he can reach it with a mid, and I think he threw OB left 3 of the 4 times, because once it got to that low speed, it was fading left, where my mid was just still carrying straight.
The thing he does that I respect a lot is hole 3 at Maple Hill. Everyone's trying to throw like that hard flex.
He goes like soft flippy, hyzer flip, and it gets to that spot because because he throws it soft, it still gets the fade as if a stable disc was. So sometimes that makes a gap bigger. If you can go flippy out of the hand on hyzer to make the gap big, and it's so flippy and you give it height, it gets the flip, but then when it loses speeds, it gets the fade like a stable disc.
Yeah, and I see a lot of people like not, and well, he gets to throw on a much more direct line too. That's the thing. Like he stabilizes it by going like that. Like last second, his hand kind of does this little thing.
Is this cricket? What is this?
It's a cricket pitch. If you go to Charlotte, there's a few courses that have them, and they're always packed.
Jeez.
There's always people playing cricket.
Just the new pickleball, I guess.
I think cricket's been around for a long time.
No. Cricket's only in Australia, let's be real.
Cricket is the new pickleball. So you got one practice round tonight.
Yeah,
and
gonna finish
you
at
feeling
midnight.
pretty good?
We'll be good, yeah. I'm a little burnt out, honestly.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm like physically I'm fine. I'm just like, if winning Des Moines was huge because I get a little like anxious and I start shanking crap whenever I like kind of have maybe a couple of weekends where I'm not quite really happy with how I play. And I'm getting to a point, it was huge to get my second elite win before Europe because I wasn't playing. And like to get that second elite win, I can relax again for a little bit. And sometimes I play better when I'm relaxed. I think my goal is my goal coming into the season was 2 elite wins, but now I think it's like 4.
Yeah.
4 or like 3 in a major is my goal.
Sweet.
Obviously, I'm only playing Worlds and USDGC, so. But I obviously play good at USDGC, and then because it requires that 400-foot mid shot, that's like that's my dream. Especially when I'm confident, when I'm on, I feel like I just can't mess it up, and it almost feels like super easy to me in a way. And then we're playing obviously Smugs for Worlds, which is 2 of my favorite courses in the Worlds in terms of when you combine a 2-course tournament. I think it's probably the best we have. I want to win every weekend. Like I wanted to win Preserve so bad. Like every tournament I want to win, and mentally it drags on you, and I still want to play every weekend. My mom told me to take weeks off when my friends were, but I was like, no, I have to keep playing because I could win. I could get another win, and like that's why I'm playing these 2 is because I mean most people are over in Europe. I could try to get 2 wins and Silver Series, which is just helps, especially if I could somehow win KC Wide Open and Mid America, that'd fill my 3 Silver Series points slots. Yeah. And I'm looking to be obviously #1 in points. It's gonna be hard to catch. I've made up 100 points on Calvin in like the last couple events just because he's already had his like top 8, and he just gets podium every tournament. So I'm just looking to get ahead, and that way Isaac can't beat me.
Thanks for coming, bud.
Yes, thanks for having me. Thanks for the churros, it's super yummy.